Social Perspectives, hosted by J. Gentile Everett, is brought to you by the Renaissance Ministry.
Hello and welcome to Social Perspectives. I'm J. Gentile Everett. The political climate is definitely changing in our midst. More and more minorities and people of color are presenting themselves to serve in public office. The political feelings perhaps have been influenced by the national scene. The era of African Americans to pursue unheard of positions of power in the past are becoming more prevalent during this period, perhaps like never before. This spirit has phoned down to even local elections. Today, we have an experienced law enforcement officer, former chief of police in Laurinburg, North Carolina, who happens to be an African American from Scotland County, by the name of Darren Williams, who is running as a Democratic candidate for the office of Scotland County Commissioner. We'll hear what he has to say about his candidacy in a few moments. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the chief after these messages. Welcome to Social Perspectives. We have with us today the former Chief of Police, Darren Williams. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Glad that you took the time. We want everybody to understand that the Chief is running for County Commissioner in the county in which he was born. That has to be a thrilling experience.
It really is, and I'm appreciative and thankful, and I'm understanding the moment.
Sure.
It's been a journey. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm in my 50s.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, I'm retired, so I've seen some things over the years.
I'm sure you have. But you see, you have a political background as well.
Yes, sir.
You were on the school board
Yes,
for
sir.
a number of years.
9 years, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, 9
So you are a familiar face to Scotland County.
Yes, sir.
And you've been chief of police, and you have a distinguished law enforcement record. We all know about that. But can you tell me something about the experiences you had in that capacity, how it will help you become a strong, accountable commissioner?
Well, I have a firm belief in life, and just over my years of law enforcement, where I met you where you were,
Yes.
regardless of whether you were on drugs or
Sure.
drunk or a millionaire.
Sure.
I treated everybody the same.
I believe that.
And being a commissioner, I truly believe in putting Scotland County first.
I believe that about you. You have been here, you spent your life here. I was born here and moved away and did all kinds of other things, but you remain very committed to making the community better.
Well, when I left Fayetteville State, I graduated with my BS degree in criminal justice. All my buddies went different directions.
Yes.
Washington, D.C., Charlotte,
Sure.
Georgia. God sent me back this way because he knew Mama was sick.
I understand.
And I didn't have a problem coming back home
I see.
because, like your father and some of the other older guys,
Sure.
they helped nurture us
They did.
and show us the way. And I felt obligated to Scotland County. It's been so good to me over the years. I felt like I had to come back and pay her back.
I understand that.
So
What a noble position.
Yes, sir.
Well, now tell me this. What is your vision for Scotland County?
My vision for Scotland County is to be able to reach our youth again.
Okay.
And I don't say that word lightly, again. Across the world, you see things, across the country, you see things. And our kids right now, our youth are going astray.
Okay.
We have to get things in here that can occupy them. burn some of that energy.
Oh,
You know, we have things, and most of our events are geared around adults.
yeah. Okay.
We got to get back to some things that are more family oriented. And you know, folks say government are not involved in that. Well, they play a role in that.
I see.
You know, there's things that we must have to make the community healthy. You know, there's 3 phases. You must work, live, and play.
Okay.
We got to make sure that our youth is playing so that they understand life and learn those life skills. As a commissioner, you know, of course, we want to be in charge of making the budget.
Okay.
We need to make sure that every dime that we're utilizing is to enhance Scotland County.
Well, now you bring me to an interesting point that I just have to ask this question. You can help me. You've been in Scotland County all of your life, all of your professional life, and has been here pretty much, I would think. Okay, now, I understand that Scotland County has one of the highest unemployment rates, is one of the highest impoverished counties, and perhaps has the highest tax rate, or one of. What can be done, or what is your hope that we can bring those numbers down, like the tax rate first? Is that possible?
Yeah, other than attacking homeowners, because if you look at the stats, maybe a third is actually working.
Right.
And then you got a third that's actually retired on Social Security.
Okay.
And you got a third that's not working.
Okay.
Well, that working third is
Got to carry the load for everybody.
is pushing the wagon
Oh my goodness.
harder. And it's no problem. I'm one of them. I don't have a problem doing my part.
Yeah.
But when you look at increasing property taxes, you're only hurting those who own property.
Okay.
Look at more increasing the sales tax. That means if you buy a pack of cigarettes or you buy a drink, everybody's doing their part.
Yeah.
You take some of that burden off of the property owners. We need to be strategic on how we levy taxes on our citizens and be fair about doing it.
I know Scotland County has been hit hard with the evisceration of industry. I understand that, and other counties have had to deal with that as well. And when these industries, who would be paying these huge tax payments to the county, when they're no longer there, somebody got to pick up the slack. I guess I sort of get that. I guess I'm just trying to figure out, is it sustainable? Is it really sustainable that we keep property values or home owners paying out so much to try to keep things going? Is that a sustainable thing, or do we have to be a little bit more creative down the road?
We need to be creative down the road. And folks will say, we need to try to get better paying jobs here.
Yeah.
So we can go out and get Delta. But
Okay.
if we don't have the pilots to fly the planes,
Yeah. Sure.
then
Delta's not going to come.
they're not.
Right.
So we have to work with our school system, whether it
Sure.
be Scotland County Schools or Richmond Community College,
Yeah.
Sand Hills or Robinson. We need to come up with a better plan of preparing our next generation.
So the bottom line is, if the workforce aptitude does not exist in a particular area,
Yeah, what job?
there's no inducement for some company to come.
No, we have to compete with bigger cities, Fayetteville, Florence,
Sure.
Charlotte. When Amazon and Walmart distribution centers want to pick a spot, they want to make sure that the workforce is there.
Sure.
And
Makes sense.
We need to make sure that we have the workforce prepared.
I'm
So
sure.
that when we go out and compete for those jobs, we can say, look, we already have these folks in place.
Well, that is a good observation. And I hope everybody heard that. We have to have the aptitude if we're going to bring in the quality of jobs and income in our community. We're going to take a break now, and we're going to come right back with the chief as we discuss some other issues concerning Scotland County Board of Commissioners. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tracy Darren Williams. I want to take this time to thank you all for voting for me in the primary election for County Commissioner. However, we're not finished yet. We have the general election coming up November the 7th, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking that you meet me at the polls. My platform is simple: a safer Scotland County, a healthier Scotland County, and an economically sound Scotland County. I'll see you at the polls November the 7th.
Welcome back to Social Perspectives. We're in our second segment, and we're talking to the chief about his candidacy. But because he is the former chief, of course, I have to ask him about a field about which I know he is very much aware. I'm going to talk about crime first. The crime rate in Scotland County, according to what we've been able to find, is high. I don't know what the contributing factors are, and I don't even know what remedies we can put in place. But because of your background in law enforcement, you've seen much, both ends of the spectrum. Anything you'd like to share with us about that?
Yeah, when you look at the crime report from North Carolina, and they go by counties, we can have 2 homicides or 3 homicides in a particular year. And what they do, they base it on if you were 100,000.
Sure.
Regardless of where.
I see.
30,000 or whatever. So that's how the state determine your ranking or your.
Well, it may or may not be true then. Accurate. It may not be accurate.
It's not, because, I talked to other chiefs in Fayetteville and, larger cities. You just can't tell me our 3 homicides compete with a city that's had 60, 70. But when the state put us in the same bucket as if you were 100,000, this is what you would be. That's how it works.
Well, to me, that's a faulty system.
Well, they're going to protect their flagship.
Yeah, I see. I had heard that perspective before. That's
like they got to protect those metropolitan.
So it all goes back to money. Money. Always is that.
That's been my argument for years. How can you compare our 3 homicides to a city who's had 70, 80?
Yeah, right.
And they'll say your crime rate is high because if you were 100,000,
it would be so and so.
Yeah, they speculate. So.
Oh my goodness. So what can be done? Do you have any ideas of some things that? You'll have to look back now. Yeah,
I truly believe, Gentile, that a man who wakes up without a purpose has an idle mind.
I agree with that.
We need to get back to the old theory of you got to build a house from the ground up. You can't build it from the roof down.
That's true.
We have to impact our kids at an early age, give them belief,
yes,
and give them this feeling of hope again and dreaming. Mm-hmm. If a child reaches the age of an adult and he has no vision and he wakes up every day without a purpose, sooner or later he's going to do something.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to put him in harm's way.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
And I've seen over the years, it don't take much to trigger a bad event. Right. Even when I was out there coaching and volunteering, you want to win games, but you want to win kids.
Yeah, see, that was my next. It's amazing you said that. That was the next thing that came to my mind. You see, you have spent a considerable amount of time coaching and working with young people.
Yes, sir.
And before I get some information from that, I got to ask you one quick question. You and your brother, of course, I know your brother very, very well, very close to me, one of the few men that I will trust with my life, no doubt about that. What kind of football team does Scotland have first? I'm just throwing that. That ain't got nothing to do with that.
This year?
Yeah, this year coming up.
We're going to be very surprising.
Okay.
I saw these kids at 12 and 13.
Yeah, I know. You saw them.
We're going to be extremely good.
Okay.
This year.
All right.
I didn't want to put that out there.
Yeah, I get it. But I had to ask you because the last time I asked you, let me tell you, you don't remember this, But the last time I asked you, I had heard your brother say something. And I said, I was just checking with your brother when I said, when we were at a funeral, I forgot where it was. And it was just in passing, and I asked you about the football team. Because I knew you had coached a lot of these kids. And you told me that Scotland County was in for something special. And Zeus came along. So that was special. So I from that point on, I want you to know I kind of started holding your opinion in high regard.
This year is going to be very pleasing.
All right.
And if they gel the way they should, we're going to make some noise throughout the state.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I guess I'll renew my season tickets again.
Yes, sir.
I'll need to do that. That's really good news. But we were talking about things that we can do, helping that kid develop early, getting him involved in something positive. And that's going to require the effort of a community.
It is, and it goes back to what I was saying about your father. And,
Sure.
of course, you work with mom, my
Right.
and it truly takes a village. I grew up in a single parent home.
Yes.
My dad, he had some issues
Yes.
with drinking and so on, but you can find a mentor.
Exactly right. They're still available.
They're available.
They're still available, no doubt.
But in order to get help, you got to know how to ask for help.
Yes.
And a lot of our kids don't know how to ask. I had a child that I walked up to and I gave him a simple hug.
Mm-hmm.
And and I could tell the energy went backwards,
Sure.
not forward.
Right.
He didn't know how to accept it. It wasn't his fault.
Right. That's all they knew.
That's all he did.
That's all they knew.
We have to do better. When I say we, I mean the adults.
Okay.
We have to do better when it comes to nurturing our kids. There's three things in life that is like a revolving door. And it goes on with you, it goes on with all of us. In life, every day you wake up, you're dealing with a storm.
Yes.
And I don't care if you have the most beautiful life on the planet. You're dealing with some type of storm.
Sir.
You're either coming out of a storm,
Yeah.
going into a storm, or in one.
That's exactly. That's all of us.
That's daily.
That's true. That's everybody.
That's everybody.
It sounds like you must have heard some of my sermon.
Everybody. Actually, I heard them. That's daily.
That's
And what happens is we got folks out here that some of these storms overtake them.
Sure.
They don't know how to stop for a minute and figure out a path out.
And sometimes, if one could just stop,
For a second.
just if we could just say, hold it.
Hey, I call it taking a breath.
Yeah.
Before I make a bad decision, it can either keep me out of jail or
That's
keep
right.
me out of the grave.
Sure.
Take a breath.
Just take a breath. Amazing things can happen in that breath.
That one breath
That's right.
is powerful.
That's right. All right. We remember we were talking. I said we were going to be talking about racism too in politics. You've been in the public eye a long time.
Yes, sir.
And if I were a betting man, I would have to bet somewhere along the way you had to deal with racism. I can't imagine you escaping it altogether.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Gentile. I dealt with some things in high school.
Yes.
As far as my career goes, I wasn't gonna allow you to say whatever, do whatever.
Sure.
I honestly wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. I'm not naive enough to think it don't exist and it's not out there. I've seen it through other police incidents, like with George Floyd and others.
Yes.
And it upsets me.
Sure.
Because not only was I a police officer, I'm a black male.
That's true. And you were never going to escape that.
Never.
That's right.
And I made it known that those officers were not brothers of mine.
Right.
I put that uniform on with one purpose, and that is to serve the citizens of the city of Lombard in Scotland County.
Yeah.
Protect and serve.
Right.
And if I was beside an officer who was not doing the right thing, I was going to hold him accountable.
Fantastic.
regardless of what he thought of me afterwards.
An officer with a conscience.
I want to have one. Because I'm going to lay my head down at night and know that I've done the right thing. You know, do we have racism out there? Yes, we do. Is it a sad thing? Yes, in this day and age. We should be far
Way beyond.
where we are right now. But we do have folks who still hold on to things that really amount to nothing in the end. Because I will ask some of my friends who were Caucasian, if you passed out in front of me, would it matter whether I'm black or white? All you want to know is, am I going to be able to do CPR?
Exactly.
So why should it matter if we walk side by side?
Fantastic. We have a candidate that believes in equality, and the color of one's skin should have no bearing on the content of their character, nor who they serve and how. How sobering. Stay tuned. We're going to be back with our final segment with the Chief, Darren Williams.
Hunger has never been more satisfied as it is when it tastes like the delicious Southern cuisines from the Clinton Inn. Here, flavor is never compromised and palate satisfaction always meets the expectation. The weekly buffet features all of the special dishes to which we have grown accustomed. Come dine with us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy a scrumptious meal at the Clinton Inn in Laurinburg, North Carolina, where food has never tasted so good.
Welcome back to our final segment with Darren Williams, the Chief. We're going to talk about now personal pride. I want to tell you, Chief, and you know we've known each other all of our lives. I am different. I make no apology for that.
Yes, sir.
I have my views of the world and how I see the world and how I see myself in it. Sometimes it may offend someone else, but it's not illegal. And I think that I should exercise the personal freedom to live according to the standards that have been exposed to me and the ones that I have embraced. What about you?
I truly believe in that. You know, I'm not going to make any apologies for being black.
You had no choice in it.
None. But, you know, I take a lot of pride in being black.
I do too.
And I learned that from you guys, whether you believe it. I was younger,
Yes.
but, you know, in my household, there was 5 of us.
Right.
And you didn't have to teach the younger ones what to do. All they had to do was follow the rules of the house.
That's all they had to do.
And we had pride back then.
Sure.
You know, we didn't have much as far as material,
Right.
but we had love.
We had love.
And we had discipline.
That's right. And respectful.
And the order of the house was carried out.
That's right.
You knew your place.
Absolutely.
And, you know, now being a father, I take pride in being a father.
Good.
You know, from the day she set foot on this earth, I thank God, and I knew that He had given me a gift, and I had to make sure I nurtured that gift the right way.
The good thing about that story, that will do nothing but cause you to be more effective as a community leader, because you have had firsthand experience, you know, in raising children and trying to put them on that path of positive growth and upward mobility. And I think we need more of that in positions of authority.
Yes, I don't need a title.
Yes.
I don't need a title. I've had enough of it.
I know about that.
And not that I didn't appreciate it, because I thank God for every opportunity He gave me to lead.
Sure.
But I have a passion for kids.
Yes.
I have a passion for Scotland County, and it seeps out of my pores. I love this place. Scotland County is a wonderful county.
All right.
Longford is a wonderful city.
It's good to hear that, particularly from someone who's interested in doing greater things in the county and who have a record of doing great things. And now you have become sort of like this wonderful positive mouthpiece for Scotland County. And I think that's fantastic.
I thank you for that. That means a lot. Because I know you've been around.
Oh, Lord, yes.
You know a lot of people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and and just like yourself, you've done so much for not just Cotton County, for this region, as far as the ministry.
Yes.
And helping people.
Sure.
Some of the things you do go unseen.
Oh, God, yeah, that's true.
But
That's
it's your passion. It was passed down from your mom,
Sure.
your dad,
Sure.
your family, the background.
Right.
The ministry just didn't start with you.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
been in your family
Long before me. Long before.
long before you.
Sure.
But and I brought up history. I understand the history of where we come from.
Sure.
When I think back on, I look at documentaries and they show the slave ships, and they showed one in particular that sunk. I think it was in Alabama, and they tried to go back and locate it. And
Right.
when I look at that stuff, I pray, and I thank our ancestors for standing strong, and
Sure.
we bear the fruits of their labor, but
Right.
we've got the easy part as far as life. There was a lot of bloodshed, and we had a lot of pain through our I would say through our journey over
Sure.
the years. But right now it angers me because our youth don't understand.
But the one thing I have to give you credit for, you are a voice of hope. You are a voice of optimism. You do not see Scotland County as some dark, dismal dungeon where hope has been eviscerated forever. You are a voice of hope and saying, we can do, we will do. There are greater things ahead of us.
Yes, it is.
Instead of concentrating on all of those dubious distinctions like so many people like to do, what pains me more than anything is to hear anyone running for office and all they do is recite a litany of problems.
Yes, sir.
But they have no vision of optimism for that.
No solution.
None of that.
I shouldn't come to you with a problem
Right.
unless I got a solution.
Exactly right. We don't need anybody to come tell us what's wrong. And you have brought forth in this interview, you have said to Scotland County and to the other counties around, there is good in Scotland County. Scotland County is positive and you can achieve, you can have opportunity. Those are positive, powerful words that we need more of.
And let's understand this. There's no community is going to be perfect.
No such thing.
But God don't intend for the world to be perfect, because if it was, there would be no need for Him.
All right. Hey, did y'all hear the chief? He just gave a sermon. We want to applaud the chief for also sharing the message of God with us. We want to take this time and thank you, Chief, for being here with us. It was an honor having you.
It's an honor being here.
And I'm going to want you to come back, so you'll have to get ready for all of that. I got to have you back. It's wonderful to have someone running for political office and they have a connection with God. Of course, that's very special for me.
Well,
So
you keep doing what you're doing, because you truly get the word out. You truly put us in the spotlight.
Thank
You're
you.
taking it off yourself and putting
Yes.
it on us. And
Thank you.
I thank God for that, and I thank God for you.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you all. We'll be right back with our closing shortly after these messages.